Now, as we look at verses 10 and 11, there's a really important parallel in the Gospel of Luke. In the Gospel of Luke, you may remember that at the tomb, there are these women who are there, and they're confused, they're perplexed. Why? Because they could not see the body of Jesus. They could not find the body of Jesus. They knew where Jesus had been buried. They came to anoint him for burial. But when they arrived, Jesus is not there. His body is not there, and they're perplexed by this. Where is Jesus? Well, as they're confused about all this, suddenly we read that two men stood by them in dazzling apparel. Well, again, 40 days later, in verse 10, we read, and while these men, the apostles, were gazing into heaven as he went, behold, two men stood by them in white robes. Two men just appear again. And again, in the Gospel of Luke, in Luke 24, verses 5 through 6, those two men encourage the perplexed women with the good news about Jesus. They say, why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but he is risen. Again, these women were perplexed because they could not see the body of Jesus. So these men are perplexed because the body of Jesus is now hidden from them as they look into heaven, as he's hidden in this cloud as he ascends into heaven. And so in verse 11, these men encourage the men of Galilee. They say, men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into heaven? This Jesus who was taken up from you into heaven will come in the same way as you saw him go into heaven. The king is in heaven now, but one day he is coming again.